For decades, the United States has spent billions of dollars constructing a massive military footprint across the Persian Gulf. These installations were designed to project total power, serving as the physical anchors of American influence in the region. This network operated under an aura of invulnerability. For years, these bases were seen as untouchable safe havens, where the world's most advanced air power could be staged without fear of a direct conventional challenge. But that sense of security fractured when a ceasefire in the Strait of Hormuz collapsed. Following a series of U.S. airstrikes, Iran retaliated with a coordinated assault that hit the American network directly. In the immediate aftermath, the Pentagon was slow to acknowledge the extent of the damage. By keeping initial reports vague, they hoped to prevent a drop in domestic morale and avoid a public crisis of confidence in their regional defenses. However, newly analyzed satellite intelligence has begun to pierce that silence. The imagery shows that Iranian munitions hit their marks, causing hundreds of millions in damage and challenging the long-held assumption that these bases are impenetrable. The investigation begins in the northwestern Kuwaiti desert. This is home to Camp Buring and Ali El Salem Air Base, the logistical spine for U.S. operations across West Asia. Satellite imagery captures the extensive destruction of the mundane but essential infrastructure required to keep these military bases running. The strikes hit electrical substations and transformer banks, leaving behind scorched equipment and blackened craters. Beyond the power grid, the attack targeted aircraft shelters and maintenance hangars. These facilities house and protect high-value bombers and surveillance aircraft from the harsh desert environment. The precision of the impact zones shows a clear intent. Rather than seeking random casualties, the munitions were directed at specific hubs needed to maintain a high sortie rate and launch air operations. By targeting power and maintenance infrastructure, Iran demonstrated it could ground operations at these key sites without shooting down a single aircraft in flight. The investigation then shifts south to Bahrain, the naval core of the U.S. presence in the Gulf and the headquarters of the Fifth Fleet. Wall Street Journal reports indicate strikes caused an estimated $400 million in damage. At Issa Air Base, destruction was highly specific. Strikes concentrated entirely in northern operational zones, clustering around maintenance compounds. The rest remained untouched, revealing a surgical approach to disable naval capabilities. The resulting $400 million repair bill is proof of a new capability. Iran can now pinpoint the exact buildings required to keep the U.S. Navy operational and dismantle them with high-precision fire. Some of the most significant strikes targeted the high-tech command and control centers in the United Arab Emirates and Qatar. At Al Dhafra Air Base in the UAE, the assault successfully disabled critical early warning and fire control radars, striking at the base's ability to coordinate its own defenses. The most expensive loss occurred at Qatar's Al Udeid Air Base. A strike destroyed the AN/FPS-132 early warning radar, valued at $1.1 billion. Without this system to track ballistic missiles, a critical section of the U.S. network was left effectively blind. By taking out this radar, Iran didn't just damage a building, they decapitated the early warning system that protects the entire regional network, leaving it defenseless against subsequent barrages. When tallying the losses across Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar, the financial toll exceeds $1.5 billion in infrastructure and hardware. This illustrates a massive financial disparity. Iran is using relatively low-cost drones and missiles to disable multi-billion-dollar investments, forcing the Pentagon to choose between immense repair costs or leaving their regional network compromised. There is a growing disconnect between the physical damage on the ground and the rhetoric coming out of Washington, where President Trump has warned that continued violations could force the U.S. to complete the job militarily. But those threats must now contend with a new reality. American bases in the Middle East are no longer safe rearguard sanctuaries. They are vulnerable targets sitting directly on a volatile front line. The precision of these strikes has altered the risk calculation for the region. Any future escalation now carries a demonstrated high-cost threat to the very military infrastructure the United States relies on to project its power.